groundwork that we do in order to influence the buying decisions of the customer. You all know very well that sales is an important component in any enterprise. Very often, salespersons are the ones who are screwed the most in any organization. Okay, so let us see why we need to have sales plan. The moment I introduce a product in the market, I assume that the product is having some sort of a competitive advantage with my competitor, and I also give some sort of a competitive price advantage, because of which I think that immediately the customers will flock towards my product the moment I release that in the market. So this is one wrong assumption that most of the entrepreneurs do the moment they release the product in the market. Okay, so sometimes this will land you in trouble. Okay, why? Because if you take a product, it can have two possible impacts in a customer's mind. A customer would buy a product, there are chances he would not buy a product. Just because your product has some sort of a competitive advantage, both in terms of performance as well as in price, doesn't mean that immediately the customers will come and buy your product. Okay? So there can be two possible outcomes. The customer can buy or he need not have to buy. Let us try and understand why he should buy, why he should not buy, or why he would not buy your product. Then you will get the answers for why, what are the things that we need to take for making him to buy your product. Okay? So let us have a small, simple introduction for why a customer won't buy your product.
So far, we have completed a few significant tasks in this lesson. You applied the concepts of segmentation and targeting to gain insights about your customer. You identified the niche for your product or service. In short, you know quite a bit about the customer now. But wait, there is more. You know what the customer in your niche needs. But how will you know if the customer is willing to buy your product? It is quite possible that the customer has an alternative, which is what Marcus found out after he launched his venture. Marcus had spent 10 years in the Apple industry. Using his understanding of consumer behavior in the office wear niche, he launched the Apple brand Smart Shop. The brand included shirts and trousers that were easy to maintain. The product was superior.
So, who is the entrepreneur we are talking about? Marcus. So, what is his product?
So what is the problem?
I'm just checking whether you are original.
And it was cheaper. Marcus launched the product during the prime shopping season and offered it through all the leading retailers. He seemed to have done everything right, but his product just wouldn't sell. The sales did not pick up despite introducing promos such as buy two, get one free. It was a better product and it was priced lower. Then why wouldn't it sell? Why were the customers reluctant to buy this brand? Because there were alternatives and the customers did not want to switch. Just like Marcus in our story, many entrepreneurs believe that if the product has a relative advantage over other similar products, the customer will be able to switch. However, this doesn't happen most of the times.
So this is what you have to understand. Just because you have a competitive advantage over your customer doesn't mean all the customers will flock towards you the moment you release that in the market. Okay? So we have to figure out why customers are not buying.
Entrepreneurs identify two factors for this. One, switching costs. Two, psychological biases. Let us look at each of these factors in detail.
Now, what are the two important factors that you told in the video that would not allow your customer to buy?
Sir, let me pose the question.
We will have all our questions at the end of the session. You can please note down your questions. We will have a discussion at the end of the session. Okay? I will address all your questions. the end of the session, I will address all of them. So you can just tell me what are the two components that the video told you that not allow or force a customer to buy. One is,
Psychological bias.
that is the second one. Good.
Switching costs.
Switching cost. Second one is psychological
Bias. Bias. Mental variant.
Yes, exactly. First one is switching cost. Let me see what is switching cost. Switching cost doesn't mean that a cost involved in buying your product. It's not that. Switching cost is something where a customer is not willing to come away from his comfort zone. Okay, I'll give you a small example. I have been using Microsoft Office all my life to do all sort of word processing and Excel sheet processing, do with day-to-day activities that do in my office. Even though I pay for it. Okay? Suddenly, one vendor comes, he is giving an alternate product, and it is having price competitiveness when compared to Microsoft Office. It is also having maybe some features which is more advanced than what I have been using so far. Okay? So this product is looking attractive for my boss, and my boss is telling me, why don't you try that? What would be your response when somebody is giving you an alternate option for Microsoft Office, which you have been using it for a so long period? Would you prefer a new product, or would you prefer to stay in your comfort zone?
Not immediately.
90% of them would prefer to stay in their comfort zone. Okay, so I would still love to have my Microsoft Office, even though your new product may have some competitive advantage over. Okay, this is some sort of a comfort zone which I wanted to stick. Yes.
Microsoft Office is something third party payable. If I am giving you a solution which is free of cost,
Even then,
everyone will try to migrate.
even today, Open Office is still available, but nobody is using it. Apache Open Office is still available. Nobody prefers using Open Office because it is an open source. People prefer to use. That's exactly I'm like explaining. Okay. Even if you consider the case of two products which are offering you free services, let us take the example of Gmail. I have been using Gmail for 10 years. They are giving me 15 GB of free space per account. Suddenly, some new vendor is coming here instead of Gmail, or he is giving some Qmail or something, and he is giving 25 GB of free space. Immediately, I would not prefer that service because of that competitive advantage.
So Gmail is entirely different because you have been not using for this many years. You have given that one to many per person, so you may not migrate from Gmail to some other mail. But migrating from Word to open source is not a big job.
I am just talking in the perspective of only email service.
No, email service because
Consider-
you have given some @gmail.com has been already given to somebody else. You may not migrate.
First, here,
That is also one reason.
let us consider only the emails. Assuming that Gmail is linked with all the services is known to everybody. Let us not discuss that. Considering only the email component, having used Gmail over a period of time, I would still go with Gmail because that is something which I am used to it. That's what I am trying
Sorry,
to
sir.
say.
Gmail is a unique service. Get a service which can be identifiable.
Still, you are not getting my point. The point is,
No.
the point is when somebody is when they are feeling comfortable in using something, they would not immediately switch over to a new service immediately. That's what I'm
So what makes you to
trying to
get into Gmail?
There are customers like what he says.
Sir, Gmail is a unique service. You cannot migrate it. நான் இப்போ உங்களுக்கு Gmail கொடுத்திருக்கேன். நாளைக்கு நான் வேற மெயில் தான் எல்லாரும் கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ண முடியுமா? That is the problem with the SIM.
No, no.
Mobile number.
You
Sir,
have not understood what he says.
Sir, the example taken is not the right way.
saying
Gmail is entirely different scenario.
assuming that Gmail is offering you only email service. That's the first statement I told. Did you listen to that?
Yes, @gmail.com is the domain. I need that back.
Assuming that Gmail is offering you only email service, okay? Let us not forget about the fact that it is linked with all other services.
Sir, again, sir, I'm talking
I
about.
will have this discussion at the end of the class. Okay? what switching cost means.
Let me address the first factor, switching costs, with the help of a few examples. Let us take the case of Booyah, an Android-based games console. It is an 8th-generation console competing against Xbox One and PlayStation 4. This product is comparatively cheaper and it offers a free version of all its games. But existing users are still reluctant to shift to this console. Why? It is because the users are part of an online community where they discuss, play, and exchange games. A behavioral pattern has set in.
That is what is
Switching
important.
to a new product or new behavior is never easy.
This is what I am trying to explain. There's some sort of a behavioral pattern set by using a product for over a period of time. Okay, that will not allow somebody to switch over to a new product immediately.
That's not a Gmail is not an example.
Let us discuss that later. Thank you.
Let us consider another example. What if you were asked to switch from MS Office to a freeware like Apache OpenOffice? I know I would be very reluctant because I'm very comfortable with MS Office. I would want to learn the features of a new software even if it is considered better.
That is true, sir.
Here is an important point. Please remember that switching cost has nothing to do with product cost. Even if a new product is cheaper, customers may not switch because there are other factors to be considered, such as their comfort level with an alternative product and compatibility with other things add-ons.
Okay? So here switching cost doesn't mean that the cost involved in switching over to a new product. It refers to the degree of comfort level that the customer feels using a product. 1 minute. No, I don't think that I got 15 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
3:39 is time.
You are not taking into account the time that you are taken hijack from me.
Okay, one more extra minute.
Okay. Probably I have not time to get into this psychological bias and show a small video and then I move.
We now come to the second reason why customers don't buy, that is psychological biases. The human mind functions in some predictive ways, and this also impacts a customer's decision to buy. Experts refer to this term as psychological biases. Buying and selling decisions are influenced by 3 psychological biases in particular. These are perceived value, loss aversion, and optimism.
So psychological bias is nothing but how your mind influences your buying decision. Okay. So as it is mentioned in the video, we have 3 such psychological biases. One is perceived value, second one is loss aversion, and the third one is optimism. Perceived value means suppose there are 2 persons. One person is buying X and Y. We have 2 persons X and Y. Mr. X and Mr. Y wanted to start a garment business. Okay? But X has a lot of funds and facilities available at his disposal. Mr. Y is wanting to start his business with a bird in hand. Okay? So both of them are trying to procure their raw materials from a branded vendor, that is a Peter vendor. Both of them are buying the material from the same vendor. Mr. X is setting up that in DC office with a grand space, with a highly furnished environment. Mr. Y is setting up his garment store in street. Okay, so you are going to that during your journey, and you are seeing you wanted to have a shirt, and then you are inquiring what is the price of the shirt. Since both the persons are getting the shirt from the same vendor, he is actually telling the price of Peter England to you, 700 rupees. Do you think that you would pay 700 rupees for that shirt, even though he is actually buying the shirt from Peter England and it is mentioned as Peter England in that shirt? No. What is that which prevents you from buying that shirt for 700 rupees? No.
There's a guy who is on the street. How can I buy for 700, paying 700?
That is the perception. That is your perception that a vendor who is having a street vendor cannot have original product. He cannot buy 700 rupees shirt. He cannot possibly have original product. That is your level of perception. Okay, so but you are willing to pay the same price when you go to a shop and buy a shirt. Okay, so it is not the value of the product that is seen here by the customer, but the perception of the product, the perceivance of the product. Okay, so that is the first one which will affect. The second one is loss aversion. Loss aversion means 2 minutes. Loss aversion is nothing but the amount of loss a customer encounters when he is switching to a new product. Say for example, I have been using a television. Okay, so you are using an LCD TV at home. I am suddenly coming and giving you a new television to you. Probably it will help you to have a much better picture resolution and it will have much more facilities. But then, what is that something which will prevent you to immediately go and buy a new television even while you are having a television which is functional at home?
Money.
Yeah.
Extra money and-
The loss. While I am already having a product which is functional at home, I would be a little bit reluctant to buy a new product because of the loss that I may encounter with the available product at home. Okay, so that is the reason why people come out with exchange offers. If you give the older television, we will give a new one. So that is the concept of the statement at home. So these two item 1 and item 2 affect the customer when it comes to buying decisions. The third one, optimism, it will affect the seller in this case. Okay, the seller in the case, too much of optimistic behavior of a seller that his product is so superior that it can be proven in any market is some sort of an optimism that we will find in many entrepreneurs. There is a small proverb, say you cannot sell the reading glass in a blind school. Obviously your product has zero value there. Okay, so you cannot go and sell the reading glass in a blind school because there are no takers for your product there. Suppose an entrepreneur is trying to push to sell his reading glass in a blind school, that is considered to be an optimism, a blind sort of belief that my product can be sold in any environment without understanding the realistic nature of the market. So this is the third phase of it. 1 and 2 will affect the buyer, the third one will affect the seller. Okay, so let us wrap up the session. We saw what is sales planning. We saw why should we do sales planning. We saw why customers will buy your product and will not buy your product. We saw various options for that. And later we will see how do we attack the market by having a proper market plan and sales pitch in the next class. Thank you.
Self-reflection. One more.
My feedback?
Yes,
I
yes.
have not managed my time.